Alright, so the new DJI Osmo Pocket 4 has officially been released, and I haven't gotten my hands on it yet, but I wanted to share my thoughts on it as someone who has owned the Osmo Pocket 3 and has traveled the world with it, and also taken it on a bunch of family trips. I truly love my Osmo Pocket 3 and the footage I'm able to capture with it, so hopefully I can get my hands on an Osmo Pocket 4 very soon. Now, as of the making of this video, the Osmo Pocket 4 is unavailable to purchase if you live in the US, and this isn't the fault of DJI. This is actually because the FCC banned new foreign-made drones in December 2025, citing them as a national security threat. At this time, there has been no evidence of DJI using any of their drones or cameras to spy on us, so in my opinion, this is a petty decision to hurt the sales of a Chinese company, so that's why we can't purchase in the US yet. Hopefully this changes, but now let's just talk about the Osmo Pocket 4. Now, first off, the Osmo Pocket 4 seems to be around the same price as the Osmo Pocket 3 when it first released, which is around $499 if you just buy the camera alone, and roughly about $749 for the creator combo, which comes with some accessories. Alright, so the DJI Osmo Pocket 4 looks nearly identical to the Osmo Pocket 3 on the outside. The only difference is the Osmo Pocket 4 now has the addition of two buttons beneath the screen, one being a 2x zoom button and the other being a custom button, which I actually think is pretty cool that they're keeping the similar body and they're not making it super bulky or beefy so that it stays a true pocket camera. The main difference comes from the new 36 megapixel 1-inch sensor, which is the main reason for a lot of the improvements that the Osmo Pocket 4 has over the Pocket 3, because now this gives us the true D-Log color profile, which allows for even more dynamic range. DJI is stating up to 14 stops and more flexibility to color grade. If you're unfamiliar with log profiles, these are flat desaturated color profiles that will give you the most dynamic range out of your camera sensor and give you the most flexibility to color grade. The Osmo Pocket 3 only has D-Log M, so it's not giving you the most flexibility compared to a true D-Log profile. However, in my opinion, it's still pretty good and still pretty flexible, so I'm actually really excited to grade the D-Log footage out of the Pocket 4. And in my opinion, to get a cinematic image, the most important thing that you can get out of your sensor is dynamic range. So the Osmo Pocket 4 having more dynamic range is really what's going to make the most impact on your image quality. And in case you're wondering, it shoots a max resolution of 4K up to 240 frames per second, which is a big leap compared to, I believe, the 120 frames per second that the Pocket 3 offers. However, one thing to note is if you do choose to shoot in 240 frames per second, you can't shoot in the D-Log color profile. So that is something I personally never use. However, I've owned my Sony FX3 and my Osmo Pocket 3 for years now, and I never shoot anything past 4K 60. So for my needs, 60 frames is more than enough for me to get some good slow-mo footage. Another feature the Osmo Pocket 4 has is what they're calling 2x lossless zoom. And the Osmo Pocket 3 also has a 4K 2x digital zoom, which I've used a few times, and it does look pretty good in bright lighting situations. Now, in terms of color, the Osmo Pocket 4 also introduced a new set of film simulation profiles, which is a really cool option if you want a more stylized look in camera. If you don't necessarily know how to color grade or don't want to color grade, I think film simulations can be really helpful for just a faster turnaround. Aside from the camera sensor, I think the next best addition to the Osmo Pocket 4 is that they now have 107 gigabytes of internal storage. This means you can literally start recording with your camera straight out of the box without having to buy a micro SD card first. Shooting in 4K 30, I believe that should give you around 2 to 2.5 hours of record time, which is pretty good, and you can always just offload your footage to a hard drive afterwards. The Osmo Pocket 4 now has improved ActiveTrack 7.0, which I'm definitely interested in trying out because I used ActiveTrack a couple times on my trip to Thailand, and I thought it was really impressive for what it is. Just being able to follow a subject, it's like having a little camera operator with you. However, I did notice there were a few moments where the movement looked a bit unnatural on the Osmo Pocket 3, so I think it's a really cool feature that if it has a little bit of improvement, I'm definitely on board for it. Now, just judging off the spec sheet alone and not real world use of the Osmo Pocket 4, the upgrades from the Pocket 4 compared to the Osmo Pocket 3 do seem more incremental on paper. Although if you're someone like me who likes to make cinematic content and push your footage as much as you can in the color grade, the new sensor alone is a worthwhile upgrade to me. But if you're more of a casual user or a content creator that you don't plan on shooting in D-Log, you're probably not going to see a huge noticeable difference in terms of the image quality. But hopefully I can pick one up soon and do some real world comparisons and get some solid use out of it, and then I'll be able to kind of give you a more well-rounded opinion. And let me know what you think of the Osmo Pocket 4 in the comments, and if you plan on picking one up. I just want to say a huge thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.